Have I ever said how, like, hard it is? Like, yes, I do a lot of recording, but it's still hard to, like, get everything that I want to say in recording. Because, like, a while ago, I was having this amazing talk with myself, and and then I wanted to record it. So, I'm planning this episode titled "How Not to Be a Lame Person and Surviving Your 20s," and I like to think about something for a few weeks that helps it to be better and take notes for it. And so one thing, so yeah, I mean, just it's in the month of January, and I'm just thinking about for this year. So not necessarily related to the episode, but this year, some things I want to do is I want to. Before I get to what I want to do this year, did I already say? Not everyone can sit around their devices like all day, and that's why you need people like me. Like, I'm a tech person. If you need me, like, I'm like literally like today, I was basically on my device all day. I was, yeah, trying out new apps and stuff, and spending time learning about cryptocurrencies and NFTs and all that stuff. And I'm just checking emails and doing Zoom conversations for my podcast, and like I'm on my and watching movies and everything else. And I'm just like from morning to evening I'm on my device or one of my devices. Anyways, where was I going with that? Okay, so so one thing that's hard about my podcast is another thing that's hard about my podcast is taking note, like planning an episode like this. I'm gonna do like whenever I'm gonna do this episode, and then like when it actually comes down to doing it, what am I gonna say? And so that's why I like to. And so since this is just getting a me episode, I can start talking now and record over a few weeks, and usually when I do my Zoom interviews or whatever, I'm not wrapped up in a blanket, but I just just chilling. So the other day, I actually did a lot of recording. I actually lost like 15 minutes of recording because I was trying to record like a secondary part to to episode 15 on spiritual warfare. And I lost 15 minutes. I was saying a lot of things. I might just mention something I said. Well, something, yeah. So I'm mentioning it again. So something I like to do is I like to critique other people's design or podcasts. And so I was listening to this podcast the other day. I was just kind of critiquing how it is. And so every podcast is different. And I don't know if I do every one of my episodes the same or not, but yeah, I mean, a podcast is a podcast, and so sometimes I try to talk as much, and then sometimes I'm just like in that mood where I want to talk. But okay, and then today I was critiquing my guest's website. It's just like the design of her website. It's designed beautifully, and so for episode 17, Love Is with Kim Sorrell, I created I had fun creating like the podcast thumbnail, and on social media you're gonna see like the podcast thumbnail title, and then some quotes and stuff and some verses. I kind of designed like our website using the same colors on our website. Whatever. I'm going down a rabbit trail, so I was doing that today. I had fun designing that, but where was I going? Yeah, I love going down rabbit trails. There's something really big I was going to say, but a podcast. Okay, a podcast is a podcast. So, some things that I want to do this year, and I think one way to maybe, so let's get to this topic. Like, I love the title "How Not to Be a Lame Person," and maybe one tip that I'll just throw right out there. But all my tips are my own ideas. I guess. Well, I have done some. I mean, and also other people will agree, and maybe I'll do some more research because. But just one. What did I have to? Okay. Anyways, one tip that I was going to throw out there is one way not to be a lame person is, to make plans and goals and New Year resolutions. But I know some people fail miserably on those. And yeah. Well, one of my kind of New Year resolutions for this year, because and push yourself. I think push yourself to be exceptional, right? Push yourself to try new things, be amazing. And that's and when it comes to, so, this was like a recording that I don't even know if I'll include when I actually do the episode, but I guess if you're watching this, I have included it. So I'm getting into all the different things that I want to get into in this episode. But this episode, I don't know how it's going to look yet until it's done edited. And I was commenting the other day how I can, if I edit it, because I have like the podcast, Zoom interview recording, that separately, and then I record an intro and an outro, separately, and so if I was to edit, the kind of the podcast episode next year, there's a whole different way I could go. Because like the basic interview would be the same, but then the intro and the outro would be different, and I could, but okay, so some things. So try to push yourself to be exceptional. I like that line, which it just kind of came to me out of the blue. I wasn't really planning to use it, but push yourself to be exceptional. That's something I've said before. Well, in a different way, but so something I want to try to push myself to do this year, is to create it to maybe. Well, there's a lot of different things, and I don't know how it's going to look. And so I say push myself, but that I might not actually push myself to do this. I don't know. But I want to create like a new app, sort of something or another. I want to design something, like some kind of product from the ground up. And I want it, because I love using, productivity tools like note-taking applications and stuff to jot down notes and stuff about an idea or a project. And I love using design software to design the stuff for it. I want to build like a new product, whether it be an app or some sort of something from the ground up. It might just be like, I don't know. That's something I want to push myself to do, but then, who knows if I'll even do it and attempt to do it. And then another thing I want to do this year, maybe I'll combine these two things, but another thing I want to do this year is plan an event, an in-person event. I work at a retreat center. I need to put in the effort to contact whoever I need to contact about booking this place for a retreat. And yeah, I need to, because I love design. And so one thing, so those are two things that I want to push myself to do this year. And this is just an intro to episode 20 here. How not to be a lame person. I want to go down a rabbit trail and maybe, closer to the day when this episode releases, I will record more relevant content on this. But this is a podcast, and expect to turn this on and be listening for a while here. And so I was going to say something. One of the one of the things that even though there's certain things that I haven't done, like recently, I helped someone play a movie, on the projector screens, and there was a group that was there. So there's certain things that, I've done to a certain extent, but I have high priorities, or not high priorities. I have high, what's the word? A high bar, I get a standard for how I want to do it. And so I guess that kind of fits in with the topic of this episode. Is just so push yourself to be exceptional, and I've already said that, and just make goals for yourself, make resolutions for yourself, try to push yourself to do the new things or whatever. Okay, and then this kind of goes hand in hand. So set high standards, but there's different ways and different people set high standards for different things. Because how I was talking about critiquing website design or whatever, but so let me just talk about this, and then maybe like I said, later on I'll get to some more tips that aren't okay. But one thing, and this is just so me related, but so make it personal for yourself. And what is some personal things you need to push yourself to do, or what are some standards you need to put in place, or whatever. But for me, if I ever would, had to show a movie for a group, or on, on big screens or whatever, from a streaming service like Disney Plus or Netflix or YouTube, or if it's a YouTube video or whatever, or how I'm doing that, it'd be preferable if I used my own computer, because I'm signed in and all that and stuff, and but if you have to do it from another computer, yeah, it's hard when the Wi-Fi, like when you're not in control of like the computer, you're not familiar with it, you're not familiar with the Wi-Fi, and you're doing it in a new place. And so, I mean, yes, yes, it's cool to have like high standards of like you want to do it from your computer, or you want to do it like. And another thing I'd have is I use the Brave web browser. I really love that as well. So like if I'm watching a YouTube video, like if I ever like I'm opening YouTube and playing YouTube for anybody, Brave web browser is the browser I use because there's no ads on it. And so I've seen different groups where they maybe want to have like kind of a talent show or whatever, karaoke or whatever, and they're finding songs on YouTube to sing along to or whatever, or they may be using like Safari or Chrome or whatever, and they're seeing ads between every video, like, ugh. And I'm like, so my standard when it comes to something like that is to use the Brave web browser, no ads, and so it makes the whole experience nicer, because recently I helped with a talent show, and so that's what we did, and it just made the whole experience nicer, no ads, and it was very organized and flowed smoothly. So just kind of, I try to have standards in that way. And I hope you're following along so far. And, so another thing, so that's something, just high standards of showing video, and sometimes if it's possible, I like to download video. And another thing when it comes to, because I really love, presenting, like project, multiple displays, and I have experience with different operating systems and managing, the displays and showing. So one thing that I try, if possible, to do, which, it happens, but is to never show your desktop wallpaper. And like, it's, it's not like your desktop wallpaper is like, weird looking or whatever. It's just like, but it's like, they should never see that, at like, yeah, like whatever, like if it's an event or whatever, they should see like the event logo or whatever, or some design that you've designed for that event, or company logo or something, and never your desktop wallpaper. Never, no matter how good your desktop wallpaper is. I know some people really love. So that's something I try to have, but like I said, sometimes it's not possible to always live up to that standard. I don't know. And I love talking. So I'm getting a little bit too technical here about things like that, because I love to talk about tech related things. I know I don't do it a whole lot on my podcast, but I love to talk about tech related things quite a bit, and that's why I do have like a tech with non-resistant YouTube channel and Medium publication. But I don't actually. But because of my podcast, I'm actually not able to like put time and effort into that. Anyways, so maybe I've said enough about that. There was one other thing I was going to bring up. Yeah, just like as a speaker. Which I've never actually, like, I'm not a public speaker, and so I don't do public speaking. But if I ever was to do public speaking, I would want to create, a present, slides to go with my speech, and I love just, and so when well, I'm recording this the day I did my Love Is interview, and so I was taking notes. So sometimes you have more time to put more love and attention into the details of a project, and sometimes you don't. So where was I going with that? But yeah, just like if I ever was, and so I was something like I would want to build, create, design beautiful slides to go with my talk, and something about me is I'm a very detailed person. I kind of, to a certain extent, I try to be a detailed person. I know sometimes, when I'm creating websites and creating things and editing videos, maybe sometimes it's easy to let details just kind of, certain details just miss certain details. But I try to, if I have time, yeah, just, and that's something that's new to me, because I remember when I was younger, I sometimes didn't really care. Well, which there's certain details that I don't care about, and there's certain things, because it's like in woodworking or wood building or construction or whatever. Like I'm not really into that, and so I don't. Well, I know I haven't been in the past, and I don't. And I'm and it's maybe bad for me to not be into that, because like you need to be like it's hard for me, so another thing I want to throw in here, as a tip to not be a lame person, is you need to learn, maybe to, and this is something, so for me, is to be to be interested in things I'm not interested in, or to show interest in things that I'm not really interested in. And to try to be, because like there's things that I'm interested in that I really care. So like I like to care about details in certain things, like presentation design, the fonts on a website, the colors, all that. Like but yeah, but be interested, so yeah, I just need to learn to show interest in things I'm not really interested in, because I tip, growing up in a large family, with lots of brothers and sisters, and it's that, I, and so one thing I gotta one thing I gotta say is that, growing up in a large home, I haven't had the chance to be spoiled. I Now it's easy, talking about like spoiled. That's something we've talked about a lot as siblings. Kind of like, oh, that one's spoiled, that one's spoiled. Like, it's easy to be. I mean, well, I don't really know the definition of the word spoiled, but I mean, I feel like we're all like spoiled to a certain extent, right? We all kind of want what we want, right? We don't always get what we want, but we want what we want. Now where was I going with that? And so try to, be, so, yeah, I mean, I love how this is progressing, and I didn't really plan to do all this recording now, but another thing that I'm just, because I have some notes and I haven't even gotten to any of them yet, but another thing that I just want to add is about how not to be a lame person is be aware of your problems, be aware of your issue, be aware of your, because so often we want to deny the fact, like we want to deny that we're spoiled. We want to deny that we maybe have a lying problem, that we have an addiction, or that we, have a judgment or an anger problem or whatever, or I'm trying to think of other problems, but we want to deny that. So be open about your problems, and acknowledge them, and then work on them, because, and talking about problems is a whole other topic on its own, but I think I've heard a quote about, let's see, you or something, you are not your problems, or I don't think that sounds right, or something, but you are I know there's a really good song, but I can't remember exactly how it goes, but something like you are greater than the sum of all your problems or regrets or something. I don't know. I've got so much stuff glued in my mind, but you are just, because, but I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, by acknowledging your problems, you can work on them. Yeah, did I already say that? You can work on them. You can make them disappear. See, there's a difference between denying your problems. There's a difference between denying your problems and just resolving them, resolving your problems. Working with, and yeah, there's a difference between those two things. I can't think of any more ways to not be a lame person today, but it really is hard, to not be a lame person. And so this is kind of, I guess you could say maybe part one to this episode, but this has kind of been an intro to this episode. And so over the next few weeks, I'm going to be thinking about this more. And so definitely, thank you for listening this far into the episode. And it's funny how, I've done episodes in the past, how, I've done them like, sometimes I like to do short clips of just like edited, and like, and that's great for a YouTube video, but a podcast. And so, maybe you're not going to enjoy watching this on YouTube. Maybe you have I don't know what your favorite podcast, player is, Spotify is mine or whatever. And you just put it on and you listen to it while you're working. And, because your podcasts aren't something to watch. I have a lot of, so I love going down rabbit trails. So, I literally would love to, one of the reasons I started my podcast is because I like to do things like this, and like that's why. And I feel like, but like, and but I started having guests on my podcast, and so it doesn't give me enough opportunity to do things like this, to talk and to go down rabbit trails. So where was I going now? Okay, I was gonna go down this rabbit trail, but then I went down another rabbit trail. Okay, so let me back up and think. I can't even remember which one I was gonna go down. What I was gonna say. Have different people. It's funny. Usually when I'm listening, so I'm gonna go down another rabbit trail. See, the other thing, if you keep going down these trails and talking about things, like I keep up bringing up things and bringing up things and bringing up things. So, let me go back. So, what I love. So, when I'm video editing this, listening through to this, then I'll probably remember. It'll hit me. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. But I probably said enough for now. And yeah, I just, I don't want to. I don't. I don't. But by giving this episode this title, I don't want to make it sound like I, how not to be a lame person. Like I'm giving very clear instruction. I mean, I'm giving fairly clear instruction, but I'm like, but I don't want to. Well, I don't want. I don't think anyone, like, I know I talk about myself being lame sometimes, but I don't think anyone should ever like truly consider themselves to be a really lame person. So one thing I'm going to add here, is interesting as I continue talking, continue recording, new ideas come on. I don't think anyone, should consider themselves a lame person, and I think one way to not be a lame person is just be positive about yourself. I've heard this, and to a certain extent, this kind of saying, they can be bad saying, they can, but like, just believe in yourself. You got this. You're but be positive in yourself. Be positive about, I've, in certain movies, like girls or guys are, they're like giving a kind of relationship advice about like guys are attracted to girls who are just like know their value. How is that? But right, I don't okay, how is that? Okay, I think I went too far in that direction. No, but like, so yeah, believe in yourself. Like, what I would say is it's not about necessarily about believing in yourself, but it's about believing in the God who made you. It's about believing in the God who made you, and that's what I want to say. It's about believing in the God who made you. It's not about believing in yourself. It's about believing in the God who made you. And this is so powerful. Let me just say it. You are an amazing person. God created you amazing, and God created you in His image, and you are special, and you are unique, and you are beautifully made. And I could honestly end the episode right here, but I know that there's more things I want to say. At least I think there is. But that's I love that. I love that so much. I love coming out with these. Sometimes like I come up with these things on the spot, and that was like totally on the spot, and I love it. Well, I think it's something. I've been in this ministry. I've been doing ministry kind of sharing, writing thoughts for a few years, and so my memory's quite good, and so I remember talking about this topic before, but I don't remember saying it exactly like that. But yeah, don't believe in yourself. Believe in the one who made you. Believe in the one who made you. And so believe. So another thing I'm gonna add here. Wow, I just keep adding new things. So kind of going off the believe in the one who made you. Believe truths in yourself. And on the Sunshine podcast so far this season, we've talked about spiritual warfare and how Satan is the father of lies. He lies to you and all the different things he lies to you about, and he lies to you about yourself and your value and stuff. Believe truths about yourself. Yeah, because if you believe lies about yourself, it's gonna send you down in a downward spiral. And yeah, and it's and yeah. So just believe truths about yourself, and if you need if you if you can't think of anything that's true about yourself, encourage you to get into God's word. It's full of truth about you. And I've shared some verses, and I haven't yet, as I was taking notes for this episode, I haven't really kind of specifically looked for verses on this topic. But the one verse that comes to my mind is the verse in Psalms about being fearfully and wonderfully made, and you're fearfully and wonderfully made in. And so for my podcast, I've been sharing kind of notes and verses on the Sunshining podcast blog that I've created for the Sunshining podcast. So you can find verses there, and I'll also share them on Instagram at the Sunshining NCR as well. But yeah, this has been really powerful so far.